Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our new chapter, Election and Representation. But before starting this chapter, we must know the meaning of the term democracy. Democracy is a term which is derived from the two Greek words, demos and kratos. Demos means people and kratos means rule of the people. So it is a form of government in which the people have the authority to choose their governing legislation. Students, who people are and how authority is shared among them are the core issues for democratic theory, development, and constitution. Some of the cornerstones of these issues are freedom of assembly and speech and equality, membership, consent, voting, right to life, and minority rights. Generally, there are two types of democracy, direct and indirect. So, first of all, we will start with the direct democracy. Direct democracy is one where the citizens directly participate in the day-to-day decision making and in the running of the government. Students, we know it very well that in the ancient time there were small city-states as in Greece. Therefore, the direct democracy was possible. But now the states are vast and population is in millions, just like China and India. So the direct democracy is not at all possible. Next, we will discuss indirect type of democracy. In indirect type of democracy, the people don't participate in the government directly, but they participate indirectly through their elected representatives. That's why this is also known as representative democracy, because in this type of government, the people elect their representatives in accordance with the wishes of the people. And in this type of government, if the government is not working according to the wishes of the people, then the people have the right to change the government. After discussing the types of democracy, direct democracy and indirect democracy. Now, first of all, we must know the meaning of the term election. Students, the method through which the people choose their representatives is known as elections. Elections are of two types, direct elections and indirect elections. First of all, we will discuss about the direct elections. In direct elections, all the voters participate in the elections of their representatives. For example, members of the Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies, and the local government institutions are directly elected by the people on the basis of universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means when all the adult citizens, irrespective of property, education, race, religion, gender, or other differences, have been given the right to vote. The process is popularly known as universal adult franchise. Next, we will discuss indirect elections. In case of indirect elections, the elected members of the people further elect their representatives. For example, in India, the president, vice president, and the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected indirectly by the people. Now, after discussing about the types of elections, direct and indirect, now we will discuss the kinds of direct elections. First type of direct election is general elections. General elections are held for the Lok Sabha and for the state legislative assemblies after every 5 years. The first general election in India was held in 1952 on the basis of universal adult franchise. Next is by-elections. Students, if a candidate elected from a constituency dies while in office or his office falls vacant because of his resignation, then fresh elections are held for that particular constituency. The representative elected through by-election remain in office during the remaining term of Lok Sabha or state legislative assembly. Next is mid-term elections. Mid-term elections are usually held to constitute a new house if the Lok Sabha or any of the state legislative assembly dissolved before the expiry of its full tenure. Students, next very important question is, why do we need elections? Or what is the necessity to have an election in a country? As we know, without election, democracy is not possible. Next one, without elections, rule of people is neither possible nor desirable. Because without elections, either we are having dictatorship or monarchy. Not only this, without election, it is not possible to select the representatives. Next one, it is not possible for all the people to sit at one place and select the representatives on the basis of knowledge and education. Students, as we have already discussed in the beginning, that in the ancient times, there were small city-states as in Greece. Therefore, the direct democracy was possible. But now the states are very vast and the population is in millions. So the direct democracy is not at all possible. Next, we will discuss about the meaning of the term universal adult franchise. The simple meaning of the term universal adult franchise is that every citizen, both male and female, above the age of 18 years has given the right to vote without any discrimination. Till 1989, an adult Indian meant Indian citizen above the age of 21 years. Along with this, we must know the qualifications of a voter. He must be a citizen of India. He must not be less than 18 years of age. He should not be disqualified by law. And no educational qualification is required for the right to vote. Next, we will discuss about the reservation of seats. In this system, students, some seats are reserved in the legislature for minorities, and the candidate of that particular community can contest election from that particular constituency. After independence, this system has been adopted in India to give proper representations to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Today, out of 543 elected seats in the Lok Sabha, 84 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 47 seats are reserved for the scheduled tribes. Next, we will discuss the topic delimitation of constituency. Delimitation of constituency means that drawing up the boundaries of the constituencies all over the country to hold elections. The decision on the delimitation of constituency is taken by an independent body called the Delimitation Commission. The Delimitation Commission is appointed by the President of India and it works in cooperation with the Election Commission of India. And it is appointed for the purpose of drawing up the boundaries of constituencies all over the country. Students, after discussing the qualifications of the voter, now we must know the qualifications required to contest the election. In India, all the citizens have the right to stand for election and become the representative of the people. There are different minimum age requirements for contesting elections. For example, if we want to become a member of Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly, then the required age is 25 years. For Rajya Sabha, it is 30 years. For the post of President and the Governor of the state, it is 35 years. A person who has undergone imprisonment for 2 or more years for some offence is disqualified for contesting elections. But there is no restriction of income, education, class or gender on the right to contest elections. Students, in my next video, we will discuss about the Election Commission, its functions, reforms required in the electoral system, and about the first past post system and proportional representation.